Good afternoon, Head Injury Jane here. I wanted to come on this afternoon and talk about two things. Firstly, I just had a panic attack. I just had a panic attack. Why did I just have a panic attack? Because of my memory. Now, as I have spoke about in the past, I have become accustomed to forgetting all these little things here and there, and it's just you take it with a grain of sand because there's nothing that you can do about it. I mean, I'm working on my neuroplasticity. I mean, I'm doing the things that I need to be doing, cognitive, right, to keep the brain sharp and help it function even better. But I mean, if you're forgetting, it's just the memory's gone. You know, it's not like my brain. My brain is not lazy. My brain is injured. My brain is injured, though you cannot see it, right? So here I am. If you remember one of my memory issue videos, I talked about those little external drives that I had misplaced, and it freaked me out because it had just been a few days. Well, that just happened again. Now, it was more upsetting this time when I could not locate them. I don't get upset about little memories. The bigger memories, the things that I'm like, I should be able to remember, especially when they're so fresh. But when it's something important, I cannot help but feel frustrated or upset, or in this case, I actually kind of went into this panic that I almost couldn't control because I'm sitting there. I just had them in my hands, like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe something like that. And I put them someplace. See, there's actually swelling all on the right side of my face too. This is all swollen. Like, well, this is my left. No, this is my right. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen. That's the brain getting confused. I'm touching the right side of my face, and I'm like, oh, this is my left side. What does that tell you about brain injury? Right now, since my head is hurting right now, and this whole right side is under attack right now. Oh, I haven't even gone into that. The memory. I wanted to talk about this panic at this memory loss, but I also wanted to show you the pseudotumor cerebri. My glasses actually help hide. But for the last few days, last week, I've had very prominent. And see, I actually hold my eyes up. See, I use facial muscles, to pull back. So when I let them go, my eyes are quite swollen. I've taken photos. So I have an appointment to go to the doctor today. I just called them. I was trying to just wait it out because the pseudotumor cerebri, you can have water. This is part of the pseudotumor, I believe. The head injury has compounded the pseudotumor cerebri, I believe. At least what I experience with pseudotumor cerebri. Because like right now, I just feel like I'm about to fall over on the right side. I think it's really good I'm going to the doctor. I almost want to go to the ER right now. But I have an appointment with an eye doctor, so I'm going to go and I'll be fine. But this is the struggle. This is the struggle, the reality of this head injury. I can present you with tons of facts, and I can be, I can attempt to be as clinical as possible and give you this clean version of everything that's happening. But in the reality is I'm still learning about my head injury. It's still unfolding. I have other things that complicate the head injury. And to boot, I did just have a panic attack about those drives because I moved them someplace with other important things. And then I started looking for them about a half an hour ago. And I just was thrown into this lapse of, this is the important stuff. Those drives have important data on them. And what was it, a few months ago that I went through the initial, could not track them back. And I got to tell you, this afternoon when I was just standing there, and then I looked over and I saw the box and I realized that's where I put them, a feeling washed over me that I can't even describe to you. It's not quantifiable. Because you realize just how damaged, I couldn't track it back just a couple days. It's very hard on the soul. It's very hard, and because I'm not in my own home, I don't have my office set up. I don't have these things set up. So it's such a challenge in that regard but what bothers me is that they were with other important things. And I'm like, I didn't, I couldn't track back the memory from 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I couldn't track it back. So, this is compounding. This is what happens when we have head injuries, and, and we have other maladies. And here I am holding up my eyes. I don't know if you can tell, but like if I let them go. So anyway, um, we have sometimes we have other health issues, and it complicates the head injury stuff. Because see, like for the last week, I've been experiencing just, the heading, I guess we're calling it headiness. But look at this swelling. That's just, and I can't, there's probably something going on, and maybe I'm just misunderstanding what's happening to me. But it's either the pseudotumor cerebri or it's the head injury spot itself. But my eyes are very swollen. The right side of my face is swollen. I'm having pain, here in the head where I hit. And so it's very frustrating because I don't like going to the doctor either. But I'm not upset about I don't want this stuff to be happening to me, but the memory stuff, that just, what came over me. I can't track. I do track a lot of short-term memories. Thank goodness there's a tissue here. You would think I would want to edit this out, but I got to tell you something. I decided when I first did Head Injury Jane, I said I'm going to do a Head Injury Jane, right? Of course, excuse me. I had been video blogging and decided that I was going to share this. Well, I was doing it for my own benefit. Thank goodness I did. Because there's other things in those videos I had forgotten about because of the head injury. About my injury, about what I experienced, I forgot. Because I don't have someone around me. So it's even like I'm going to the doctor. The symptoms that I'm having that I told the nurse, I have to write down because I realized as I was walking through, I started like, okay, I'm going to write down the list of things I'm experiencing. And I like left 3 of them off as I was walking through the house. I'm processing like what I'm experiencing. I'm like, oh, I need to write that down. But see, when you don't have somebody who's watching you, who's involved in your decisions and what you're doing and your medical issues, it's all on you. So it's like, it's very complex, and it is quite a bit of work. But normally it doesn't bother me that I can't track back the memories if they're little, because I'm like, that's just the new way. It's my new mind. I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to be upset, right? And if I were in my own home and I had everything settled down and everything in its place, I would not be experiencing this, I believe. So there's some component of that, but it's not like I have a lot of place to spread out. So it's like, it's odd that I can put something with other important things and and just a couple days ago and have no memory of where that drive is at all. And so when I spotted it, like I said, there was a feeling that washed over me of, I guess I want to say disbelief, but I shouldn't be. I should not experience disbelief because short-term memory is short-term memory is short-term memory. So if I didn't remember, that's just par for the course at this point. But it was the important drives again, the data, that it's the second time I've experienced that. It's just absolutely alarming to the soul to know that I can't even you can't earmark important things and then be able to track back to it. I mean, I just it wounded me so deeply because when I looked at it, I just knew. I was like, oh, this is new mind. But my head hurt. My head is really hurting right here. I forgot to tell the nurse that. See, I think she would have said go to the ER. I think I might end up going, I don't know. I'll just be cool. But it's hurting. Like badly. So, anyway, I wanted to come on and talk about the compounding of medical issues when you have a head injury. It is very challenging. And right now I'm experiencing what I believe to be, well, it could be the head. Like I said, that's what makes it complicated. I have two things that are affecting my head outside of my high blood pressure. So I have to, I'm trying to discern, is this head injury, is a pseudotumor cerebri, is this a medical emergency? Is this important enough? Matter of fact, I almost feel like I can't hardly talk on my right side. So I'm going to be paying attention. Smile. Raise your hand, arm. Today is Thursday. Today is Thursday. See, smile. Hi. Left. So, okay. So I don't think I'm having a stroke because it kind of feels like that. It's a little nerve wracking, to be perfectly frank. Today's Thursday, December the 11th, because I was in my journal today and I wrote in my journal today about what I'm experiencing a little bit. So see, short-term memory, I can remember that. Was 2014. So these are the things that we can do. We can test our brain, Johnny, on the spot, right? We know about the stroke. What is it? You smile. You're supposed to talk, say certain words like Monday or Tuesday. Raise your arms or something like that. And there's a couple things that we can do right on the spot to try and assess what kind of trouble we're in. But this is what convolutes me as a TBI sufferer. And so it's as a matter of fact, after I just did that little stroke check type thing, I feel a little bit better. It actually calmed me right down because I thought, well, no, I'm just having, this is probably most likely just headiness and the pseudotumor cerebri combined. And it's this painful and it's swelling and it's a lot of work. So combined injuries, existing injuries, then suffering a TBI, as you will know if you're watching this, because you tracked down head injuries or memory loss, you're tracking these things, you found me because you're probably experiencing this stuff too. And it's good to be aware. I think it's important to talk about it and get it out and keep it open. That helps me deal with what I'm experiencing, is sharing it. Because if I feel like, if at the very least, the last thing I can do is I'm hopefully making others aware of the life after a TBI. I can promise you with everything in my soul, I would have never believed I'd be standing here today talking about traumatic brain injury and its effects. And of course, my injury happened where I live, quote unquote, live. So it's very intriguing to experience these things, and in combination with other medical maladies. It's a challenge, but we have to be abreast. We have to be aware. And like I said, I do not like going to the doctors, but this is enough that I'm like, I must see a physician. It is my responsibility as a patient to myself, right? That I take care of myself. But I really do not like going to the doctors. I would prefer to just not have any of this happening and I could just move on with my life. But instead I have to fight all these crazy triggers and losing the memory that just hurt my feelings so bad to not have remembered where those drives were. It hurt my feelings so bad, I cannot tell you. And I did. I broke down and cried right on the spot. I got it out. It was just like, I can't. And will I do it again? I mean, I just really panicked about these drives just a few months ago when I cleaned out one thing and moved them. And now they're back in my hands again. And they've been in the same spot for a little while. And that's why when I moved them again, that's why it threw me off, because I had them in one spot. I was like, okay, I know. And that's where I went to get them. And I could not remember. I could not track back that memory. to where I put those drives. And that to me is so unique and so strange. Well, it's not unique. Well, to me, it's unique. To me, it's strange because I was this memory champ before my head injury. I think that is such a, I think that is what hurts me, you know, hurts my spirit, my soul, because I prided myself on being able to do that. I mean, I could help people with a million different things because I could remember a million different things, Johnny on the spot. Now, I literally forget so many things in a day. I was going to try and track the words that I was crossing over. Too many. Can't do it. I'm not going to, I'd have to carry around something you can't track everything that's new when your brain is injured. I mean, you can track it to a degree, but don't make yourself crazy trying to do it. I'm not going to track every word. And this medical stuff, I'm going to have to figure that out. I hope my doctors can help me resolve this stuff so I don't experience it. I don't want to experience what I'm experiencing right now. It's very uncomfortable. And then to have the memory lapse on important data when I'm experiencing this stuff is, wow, it's too much for the little soul to bear. I was just down there like, I can't believe this is my life. I can't believe I'm experiencing these emotions in that moment right down there when I couldn't remember. And like I said, when I looked over and saw the box the drives were in, you just could not imagine the emotion that washed over my soul. Okay, I've droned on long enough. Watch your heads, take great care, and be safe.